The gentleman from Iowa, Mr. Nunn, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Chairman Downing, on this. Always good to have an Air Force guy as your wingman up in the seat there. We appreciate it, certainly, as a combat veteran ourselves. Let me begin by iterating. The U.S. capital markets remain the envy of the entire world. We have a lot of good opportunity here. Our markets provide unrivaled liquidity. They have transparency, competition, rule of law, which help millions of Americans, including millions right in my home state of Iowa. The challenge, however, is despite our nation's financial strength, access to capital remains overly concentrated, particularly in the East and West. I see my colleague from Alabama nodding her head. This is the reality. Last year alone, 33,000 new small businesses launched in Iowa, but our markets still fail to reflect their growth. Imagine the economic power if we were able to bring more of this capital to the heart of the heartland. Now, Ms. Matthews McCreen, excuse me, you're an Ohio gal. You recognize this firsthand. I think that you know that we struggle with our traditional financial centers when it comes to raising that initial funding. Limited availability of initial capital outside of major investment hubs reinforces a pattern, matching a tendency for fund startups to resemble what we've seen in the past, which makes it even more difficult for a Central America opportunity to get outside of Boston or New York or Miami or Silicon Valley. All great places, but we've got an opportunity right here. You've helped lead some real successful examples of what securing capital in the Midwest might look at. Some of the key factors that we should focus on to increase and lower barriers for small companies. Tell me how Ohio and Iowa could better fit into this model.
I think we need to look a little bit at the model that you see on the coast, but we also need to fit it to ourselves, right? I would say in the Midwest, we are more thoughtful about the way that we spend money. And so first and foremost, we make certain that companies are generating revenue, that they can see growth. And we can really build our own model. So earlier today, I talked about Ohio Third Frontier and Jobs Ohio. Those are the ways that we are capitalizing our businesses and putting Ohio companies first. I think Iowa could definitely do the same thing, and you're seeing that across the country, and those things work quite well.
Ken, I couldn't agree with you more, and I think you're right. There's a model we can use on both sides of this. As we look at the lack of small businesses in our public markets now, they're deprived of the investing opportunities to invest in high-growth companies, primarily because they don't have the same opportunity. Have you seen opportunities for businesses in Ohio or other places to be able to capitalize on those high return yields?
You know, that's not a question that I don't think I could answer, but Joel, do you want to take that one?
All right, Mr. Trotter, she just teed it up for you, brother.
Well, I don't have an easy answer to that question. I mean, my emphasis, again, is on improving capital formation by principally expanding the category of emerging growth company and expanding the well-known seasoned issuer definition. And I think all of the proposals before you are steps in the right direction. They all help facilitate capital formation and take down some of the barriers that are unnaturally inhibiting steps to grow capital and raise capital and help businesses grow.
So, Mr. Trotter, on that example, I'll take you one step further. You know, the Jobs Act created the EGC designation, which is an example that grants certain smaller companies relief from specific disclosure compliance requirements for a limited period and helps ease their transition effectively into the public market. You know, I have a bill that would allow EGCs to present a 2 years of audit financial statement. It would, rather than what's currently out there right now, 3, in both the IPO and spinoff transaction. Is this an example of something that could help us get into the public market space? And if so, how?
Yes, that's definitely a great example. So EGCs, when they go public, they can go public with 2 years. But there are these aberrational circumstances that your bill would address, where experience has shown that despite having gone public with 2 years, for whatever weird reason, they're required to present a 3rd year. And it makes no sense. And there's no easy path for relief for those companies. So and addressing that scenario in a spinoff scenario, as well as a case where maybe a newly public emerging growth company has acquired another company and they have to come up with a third year of target financial statements. That makes no sense in those situations. So you're fixing parts of the rules where there's an extra burden that really shouldn't be there.
Hopefully that's a good on-ramp. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I yield the remainder of my time.